Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about the Kiaslore KK124 Karambit. This is a small knife. It's kind of a small self-defense knife. I suppose there's some utility to this knife, but it's not necessarily designed as a utility knife. Obviously self-defense. I am not necessarily a huge fan of self-defense small knives, but if you're looking for something like that, this is one option. So this knife had a lot of things at first that I did not like about it, but they all exist for a reason. So we'll talk about the things that I didn't like, we'll talk about the reasons why they exist, and then we'll talk about just kind of general facts about this knife and conclusions about how it functions. So I did not like the handle at first. If you look at the handle, you'll see that it's wider than it is deep. That feels kind of odd in the hand. It feels like it wants to rotate a little bit. But it is that way for a reason. So the reason that the handle is wider than it is deep is so that when you're pushing or punching or cutting on something, it spreads the pressure out on your hand. So it actually does make this knife function better as a self-defense tool because of that kind of a weird handle shape. The other thing that I did not like about this at first was the look of the sheath. It's kind of got an odd mechanical look to it. You know, it's not very good looking. But it is this way for a reason, and this reason actually kind of makes this knife more functional. It is this way, and the clip is attached to the sheath this way so that it can be clipped to the bottom of a shirt or the bottom of a belt or something like that, and so that the karambit can be hanging upside down and be drawn this way so that it can be used immediately in a utility or self-defense function, primarily self-defense because of the way it is tilted. So the sheath actually kind of makes this whole package work as it was intended to work, and it's something that I haven't really seen on other knives. So they actually did a good job of this, and that's appreciated. Let's do a quick size comparison on this knife. This is a Benchmade bug out. This is a Griptilian, so you can see this is a relatively small knife, and this is a Bradford Guardian 3 in Magna Cut. So this is going to be tested on an upcoming video, so keep your eyes out for that. So it is a relatively small, narrow knife. Weight on this knife is very light. So the knife itself, you're looking at 1.9 ounces. The whole combo with the sheath, you're still only looking at 3.4 ounces. So for a fixed blade, that's pretty light. By contrast, that same Guardian 3 with sheath, even though it's a small knife, you're looking at 5.7 ounces for the sheath and the knife, or 3.7 for just the knife. So there's a good comparison. The blade, it claims to be D2. I'm not really sure that it is construction wise. It would be a good choice given that this is a small knife and it's planning to see some impact or kind of hard twisting usage. The problem is the edge did not perform like D2. So this only made 50 cuts before it was dull enough that it was tearing paper. And this is a relatively thin blade, so it can't really blame blade geometry. This is just a very soft heat treat. I understand that on a knife that may see some impact, but I think this is taken a bit too far in that it really affects the utility of this knife because you're going to be sharpening it all the time if you want to use it. Overall conclusions, if you're looking for a small knife self-defense, this fits very well as far as shape, as far as utility. You can see it has a good angle coming out of my hand for arm locks and things like that. The hole is a bit small. It fits my finger comfortably, but if your finger were any larger than mine, it would not. Handle and angle are comfortable. There's no hot spots or anything like that. So if you're looking for a good small knife like this, this is a decent one, provided you don't need to do a lot of extended cutting with it because the edge is rather soft and will let you down eventually. So that is my review. Hope that is helpful, and have a knife day.